Welcome back to Papa's Custom Cars. This week, as I told you, we're going to start finishing on this panel. For those of you that are watching, there is a new episode that came before this one. I bought a bead roller. I was thinking about it, and it's these panels, when you put them on, they're really flimsy. But when you add bead rolls to it, it tightens up the metal a little bit. It takes a little bit away from the size, but it adds a little bit more character to your sheet metal than just a plain old flat piece of sheet metal. So we're going to go ahead and measure it out. I'm going to go ahead and do one about 2 inches down from the top, and then about 2 inches down from the bottom. Take a look at it and see if I want to add 1 or 2 more through the center, and that'll be a really good test for my new bead roller. And we'll find out if I'm going to ruin a perfectly good piece of sheet metal. So with that, let's get to it. Because this does have a little bit of an incline to it as it comes up over in this area. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is there are some holes in the firewall. Those will be tacked shut. Up in here, there's one here. But any that you see along with the hole we made is going to be welded up, so we're not even worried about that. Let's get this over. Let's get it measured. Let's get our beads rolled and see how well we do.
As I said in the earlier video, this bottom edge was the edge of the actual sheet metal. So I know that this edge is straight, and if you put it along the edge here, you can see it is straight. So we want to measure up from down here, because up here at the top we've got a curve, over here we've got a curve, here we've got a curve. So we want to measure from the bottom. Now the only thing in the way is going to be this little piece right here, this little edge, and I've got to figure out a way to clean that up later on. But we want to put some bead rolls in this part, but we don't want to measure from up here. We want to come from the bottom, because then we know they'll be even all the way up. So the first one mark I'm putting in is going to be at about 2 inches from the bottom, or from the bottom. And that'll be my first bead rolled line, and I'm going to go 2 inches from the end. Now, I'm not sure how many I'm going to put through the center, but I want to do the same at the top and the bottom. I want to do a 2-inch line here and a 2-inch line there. I would consider the curve and all that other fun stuff, but I am not that skilled, I don't think, yet. But it looks like this is about 12 inches, so we can come down 2 inches here. We're going to go up to 10 inches, and then we'll do the same on this side. We'll go up to 10 inches. And like I said, it's going to be a little bit off, because there is a little bit of a curve in the top of this, and that's the top of the firewall. That's why we want to take our measurements from the bottom, and then we know we'll be right on the mark. So we've got our bottom line and top line, and then once we roll those in, we'll kind of have an idea of where everything's going to be. So let me get my straight edge, and we'll start tapping this thing. So now, with this line, we want to go 2 inches from this edge to this line. We don't want to run parallel, because otherwise this line will come to this point, and this line would come to the edge here, so that wouldn't look right. So we want to go ahead and go in 2 inches up here at the top also, and that way we know for sure that, you know, we're running a uniform line. So this one, so you'll have kind of a difference in these lines by the curves. So it kind of looks a little bit more uniform. So with that, can't use that because I'm only sure we've got it this way. So those are our first two lines. Now, from here we can kind of determine what we want to do at the middle here. And remember that every time you bead roll this, it's going to make the metal a little bit smaller, so we got to be a little bit careful and not go too crazy in it. I would love just to do a perimeter one, and who knows, maybe later on we will. For this video, we're just going to do the couple of beads, and then we're going to call it a day because I'm going on vacation. So I'm going to knock this out real quick while I've got my bead roller out and everything ready to go, and kind of see how this works. And that'll tell me whether I have to come back and remake this whole piece, or what I have to do. I mean, I can get pretty wild with it, but like on the curves kind of thing, I think I'm going to want someone else here helping me while I do it. So let's get the bead roller set up. I've already got the right dies in it, so I don't have to worry about that.
Okay, sorry about that. Forgot to turn the microphone on. You got all this really nice equipment, you forget to turn things on. So if you can't hear me, I'm going to go ahead and just repeat real quick what we did here. We went 2 inches from the bottom, 2 inches from each side, and then the same up here at the top. And it's going to give us a little bit of an offset on our line, but that will help more to match with the panel and the way that it is. So it just gives us kind of more of a uniform type of setup. They say that you should have 2 people, one to run the crank and one to run the die, but unfortunately I don't have anybody here to help me today. So I'm going to try to wing it on my own, and that'll tell me whether or not when I get back from vacation I'm building a new piece. So let's get this in there. And lift that up. Not high enough yet. Okay. I must have tightened that bolt up. Didn't think I did. I didn't. There we go. And that's how you kind of set it into place. Now I'm going to go back at this one. Now I want the roll to go in, so I made my marks on the completely wrong side of this sheet. Or I can just switch my dies, put this one on the bottom and that one on the top. So let's just do that. That'll make it a lot easier. As I was saying, this is one of the things I learned by reading through, is you got your little handle here to move it up and down. As I go, it came with a few extra things like this bolt and these 2 extra bolts. If you've got one of these and you know what these are for, do us all a favor and put it in the notes, in the comments, so we know. The reason we want it to come out is if we put it on the inside, when we push it up against the firewall, we'll end up with it sitting out as opposed to in. Let's get this in right. And again, make sure you line them up. That way they're perfect. And you get a good straight bead. There's a few, I was playing with it earlier, and if you get this thing off just a little bit, it'll mess up and look bad. So that's what you don't want. Okay, so there we go. So now when we roll our bead, it's going to bump out. So let's get back up here. And to be honest with you, I could probably do these with it laying down. So that's what I'm going to do. And that way you can see a little bit better. I have a little bit better control. You need to put these back in though. Just giving us the start of it. So we just want to roll it real slow. Yeah, it's hard to do it by yourself. So let's see if I can. Boy, it's that crooked. Yeah, I'm completely missing the mark. A little wiggly. And notice it's putting the curve in the panel too. See if she follows her groove back. Wow, that's wonky. Yep. You aren't kidding when they tell you need 2 people to do this. Let's see how it looks. Give us a general idea anyway. We were doing okay, and then we got a little off the line right there, dipped down and back up again. And once you do this to a panel, it's pretty much done. So the next one we're going to try, I'll wait for my son to get home, and we'll try to put this line in it. I don't think I can correct that one. It's definitely got it's got some rigidity to it, though, definitely. But yeah, as you can see, it's not good. But hey, we live, we learn. So it is definitely a 2-man job. It would be good to have, like on a straight side, it would be good to have something in the brake itself, or in the like an adjustment where you can lock it down where it stays on that section no matter what you do. So we're going to go ahead and call it with that. That's more of a, it's going to be more of a, we're going to have to make a new panel anyway kind of thing, mainly because of that little bitty squiggle. We'll see. You never know. Let's put it over on the car and see how much it shrunk up or what it looks like. Maybe the line is in a dip somewhere where so we may have a saving grace here, because right here is where the fender bumps into it. So in all actuality, we do not need to go past this point here, or all the way back here, because none of this matters. You can't see any of this because the fender sits right here and hides it. So we may be okay just to leave it the way it is and then run our second line. I'm thinking from this point, we'll run our second line and then just go across there. This won't even barely noticeable. Fender will be sitting right here, and it'll look like it's coming up and over and across. So another thing you can get away with. So we don't have to remake this panel. So when my son gets home later on, we'll run that straight line, and maybe we'll run a couple more across here. Not really sure yet. We'll kind of see how it goes and then kind of go from there. But with that, if I don't add any more to it, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. If you've used one of these before, definitely give me some feedback. I'd definitely like to like it, and I'm sure that everybody that's interested in doing this would like to know also. But definitely, now that I think about it, the fender sits right here, so you don't even see this, not at all. While it has rigidity and it's off the line, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like building a house. You can hide things.